Yes, people, welcome back. Welcome back to BBSK Sports TGIF. It is Friday, and you know it's Friday because I got man like the Waffle Don here on BBK Sports for our weekly football update. But it's more than football this week. Lots transpiring in the world of football. Yesterday was some sad, somber news. Today it's some sad, different type of news. The elephant in the room, people, you can see it in the thumbnail. You know, as Arsenal fans, football fans in general will have to discuss this issue, but especially Arsenal fans, we can't sidestep it. The elephant in the room, Thomas Partey, hit with 5 counts of the R word. Lots to unpack. What are your thoughts, my bro?
First of all, just want to big up the chat for everyone that's going to be coming into the chat. Whether you're joining later or whether you're watching it from the start, this is going to be a serious topic that we need to speak about. I don't want to talk about allegedly. I don't even want to go into none of that rubbish. Yeah, because it's everywhere now that he's been charged with rape, and we knew something was going on from last season, before the start of last season.
Yeah,
I think he was acquitted or something. Not acquitted, but in the Spanish court, he had not been proven innocent in the Spanish court. He was investigated for an alleged sex assault in Spain, but it was dropped due to insufficient evidence at the time. So he wasn't convicted, obviously. However, seeing everything now and seeing the charges now, you know what? Yeah, let's be real. Yeah, if that was your daughter or my daughter, and she came to you and she said, "You know what? This footballer, he went too far in the situation. I consented. I did not consent to doing anything with him." You want to kill him?
Yeah.
Sorry. You want to you want to do the M word? Yeah. Sorry for saying that. You want to do the M word because you should never, as a man, you should never be put in that situation. Obviously, there's cases where men are in that situation, and there's fake allegations against men. We know that, but you're a footballer. You're in the limelight. You're in the spot. You're the spotlight. You make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Women are going to be like throwing themselves at you. So you have to play it smart, and it's always my people in it that seem to be getting the brunt of all these things. I understand Thomas Partey. He's married now. He came to Islam. He's got a child now with his wife now. However, it just seems to me like that was just a cover up.
Yeah,
yeah. Something's went wrong, and you know what, man? You can't be. It's like 5 counts as well. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people talking about, oh, do you know what? He's innocent till proven guilty. Hasn't he just been charged?
So there's a reason why Thomas Partey was booed at every away game for the past 2 seasons, right? The past 2 seasons, every time he touched the ball, even at home sometimes when the opposition away fans, we're quiet, and whenever he touches the ball, they're booed. There's a reason why they were booing, because it's the same case. Because he was charged, or he was being investigated, and it got leaked out that a footballer in North London. But people put 2 and 2 together really quickly. But he wasn't charged. He was being investigated. Now, the concern for me is the club knew then, right? And they continued to play him. That's why they continued to boo him, because they continued to play him. So the club knew what they knew then and still continued to play him. This is why it's problematic for me, because we were speaking from the pure footballing standpoint that we should re-sign him, right? because he's being booed. We thought the club did their due diligence with the case or the cloud hanging over his head. But now that he has been charged, it takes it to all. That means they have evidence, just like Darren says here, right? Darren says, bro, this thing looks serious, man. Them look like they have stacked evidence against this guy. Because when the feds charge you with this kind of stuff, it's usually because they have evidence. Now the evidence could be text messages, it could be testimony, it could be eyewitness accounts, whatever the evidence may be. But the 5 counts isn't alarming to me, because if there's another brother in Manchester named Benjamin Mendy. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah. I remember him. Yep.
Got hit with 7 counts. They completely destroyed his life, right? They completely destroyed his life, only for man to be found not guilty. You know them ones.
You know what?
Follow me. I'm so sophisticated. To get a verse from me, you gotta be initiated.
Maybach music.
Big up to man like E. Rouse in the building. We see you, bro. Serious topic this morning, bro. You still got to get your dues. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
You know what you just said, about Bernard Mendy, man.
Yeah. Burnt him. His life is completely. Man is innocent, and his life. Even when he bust case, I seen other footballers. Even Memphis Depay was the first one that tweeted, "Who is going to help this brother put his life back together now that it's been shattered over some testimony?" Right? And this, in this social media generation, like, he is cooked, right? He is cooked. He plays for FC Zurich right now.
Yeah.
And he could be playing for Man City, and he was a good player.
Yeah, man.
Partey, like in this social environment, bro. If we're gonna presume that you're innocent, because that's what we do in this part of the world, right? You're presumed innocent until guilty. You have to know better. If you are innocent, you have to know better than to put yourself into a situation where this type of thing that can happen. But we have to be on the record saying, like, bro, if you did this, if you personalize and you did this, bro, you're a piece of shit, and you should have never been nowhere near the football club. And shame on the football club if they knew that you did some shit like this and still continued to play you.
So hold on, quick question. So Thomas Partey can still be proven innocent in all of this?
Yeah, he's just been charged. That means the investigators presented the amount of evidence they've collected to a prosecutor. The prosecutor looks at it and says, okay, we have enough here to charge him. We think we can get a conviction. So we're going to formally charge you with rape and, SA.
Yeah. So there's going to be obviously a trial now.
Yeah.
And
if he pleads not guilty. If he pleads guilty, there is no trial. All right. So now the next step in the judicial process, after you've been charged, you're arrested or you're arraigned, and then you will enter your plea. So, if he pleads not guilty, then obviously there will be a trial.
Yeah. So really and truly, it's too early to really kind of make allegations, although we don't condone any of this. We don't even condone the actual what's being said, isn't it? We don't condone it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But do you think, right, that the club knew about this, but they had some form of something that, well, this guy's innocent, we're going to still play him, innocent until proven guilty? What I now, because you presented Bernard Mendy, because I was going to go in on Partey right now. I was going to go in on him, but I've got to be careful what I say now. Because
everybody shitted all over Mendy, bro. The club, he is in court right now suing Man City over lost wages, because they once he got arrested, I don't know if it was a morality clause in his contract. I don't think he had one. But once he got arrested, they stopped paying him, and essentially he's suing them for lost wages because
they stopped paying him as well.
No, they stopped paying him. Yeah, so he's suing for wrongful termination of employment. His life was completely destroyed, bro, and that's why Memphis and all these other footballers were saying, who's going to help this young brother put his life back together over an accusation? Because the climate that we have created in this generation has, once you've been accused of these kind of egregious crimes, if you're a public figure, your career is over. I've seen the governor of New York had to resign because he got during COVID, he got hit with an accusation, never went to trial. But once you get hit with this kind of accusation and there's any kind of inclination that you may be guilty in a public forum, you're done. You know,
so you're guilty until proven innocent, then the other way around.
You are guilty in the court of public opinion if you're a public, because you're a public figure. The club, you see how the club treated Ozil when he got when he was in political disarray with the Chinese.
Straight away, get out. Yeah,
they banished him, and he was a cash cow for the club. Ozil shirts was the #1 selling shirt. So the club have the resources to hire their own private investigators to do their due diligence when one of their employees are charged with something like this. So I'm not saying they knew everything, but they knew something. And it seems like they knew enough to keep playing them, because every time he touched the ball at any away ground, the boos were loud. You couldn't avoid them. You know what I'm saying? So the club knew something. What they knew, I mean, they knew enough to play him 2 more seasons.
This is going to rumble on, I think, because the thing is, there's two ways, isn't it? Either you're innocent or you're guilty. And the thing is, I need to be careful what I say, because if I start cussing the guy down and stuff like that, and he's proven innocent, then that's totally wrong.
Yeah.
But if he is guilty of what he's done, then maybe I will have every right to cuss him. But he's only being charged right now, and we need to know whether he says guilt. Because do you see Partey turning around saying guilty? I don't see it anywhere.
Because he already denied the initial allegations when they came out back in 2022 initially, but it's when he's been charged, it's very difficult for me to look past what happened to Mendy, because it's so recent. It was 2021 when they charged him, and then by 2023 his life was destroyed. You know what I'm saying?
So there's going to be some kind of like recompense here, isn't it? Even if he's proven innocent.
Even if he's proven innocent, there will be some fallout. Absolutely, yes. And that's what I'm saying. The athletes, they have to. You said it perfectly, bro. They have to be so careful now, because just the mere accusation can ruin you, can completely ruin you. You know what I mean? And that's assuming that you're innocent. If you did it, then you should be done. You know what I mean? But like Hendo says here, I wait for the trial. Remember Van Persie and Benjamin Mendy? Benjamin Mendy is a perfect example. Like athletes have to realize that they are targets. Right, you are easy targets, especially if you're from that side of the world, and then you get thrown in a city like London, when all of a sudden you get droves and droves of young women just throwing themselves at you, bro. You have to be more careful. You have to be, and it can be a case where you got carried away, but that's still no excuse, bro. You know what I'm saying? But we just have to be very careful, because now people who don't remember the Benjamin Mendy reference, because we have very short-term memory in 2024, 25. I urge you to go back and look at the narrative when he was arrested. It was the same. It's the same thing that's going to hit Partey now, and the apologies was nowhere near as loud as the disrespect and the vitriol that followed that young brother. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine now though? We've had to stop and think logically. Can you imagine the people that are going to be illogical right now and are instantly finger pointing? Because I'm just about to do that. But until you mention the Mendy case and stuff like that, really can't really say we wasn't there for one. There was insufficient evidence, but that doesn't prove that he's not guilty.
Right.
We're not judges. We're not court people. We're not none of that kind of stuff. We just can talk on like the speculation that's in front of us. Yeah. So all I'm going to say is on this subject, if he is proven guilty, then do you know what?
Yeah, throw the book at him, hammer him.
Because you know what? That in society is an absolute disgrace. But if he hasn't, done what he's supposed to have done, or you know, it was a money thing or something like that, then you know what, bun that person, that actually filed the allegation. So I think you know what, I think he stopped me from going in.
It's one of the things
takes over, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why I didn't even say anything in the group chat this morning. I was just like, let me think back, because I know, the Benjamin Mendy reference. And big up to Hendo again. He said, "Trust me, Darren, if it's taking this long to charge the evidence, that it's flaky at best. The CPS are incompetent clowns. They charged and jailed Lucy Connolly for 3 years for a mean tweet." Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like a tweet now is considered, an accusation, because that's what the young lady back in 2021 or 2022, whenever the case had broke, that's what she had tweeted. She tweeted at Thomas Partey did X, Y, and Z, and that's when the investigation started. You know what I'm saying? But a tweet, there's not evidence of SA or whatever, because we have all seen vindictive people do things to people in power that they despise. You know what I'm saying? So, but in the overarching umbrella in society, even from the beginning of time until now, as men, we have a responsibility to protect our women. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is, it's one of the things where if he violated the bro code, then you get everything that you deserve, bro. But yeah,
100%. So,
but the Benjamin Mendy one, it had burnt me so bad the way that, because the way Pep and everyone just kicked him out of the team immediately, bro, immediately banished. And I understand that the clubs don't want to be a part of bad PR. I get it. You know what I mean? But you can't. They terminated his employment without a conviction. You know what I mean? And that this is how he earns a living. Benjamin Mendy is 30 years old today. Now he's 30 years old. He's got life to live, and you have to pick the pieces up based off vindictive lies from someone who just wanted to get back at him, and that's crazy to me. E-Ross said, "Big up Gavin every time," and it's been an unbelievable week. To say that, yeah, man, it's been a rough week in football. It's taken.
The bigger question though. The bigger thing for me is, could the club have handled it better, or was it just an innocent until proven guilty thing? Because obviously the court, the club would have been advised, on whether they could play him or not. There would have been their lawyers involved and stuff like that. So what's your take on the way the clubs handle it? Because the club's going to come under a lot of scrutiny now by the media, I'm expecting. We've been able to like be logical. That's the good thing about that, because as I said before, I was just about to go proper crazy. But what do you think about the club stance and how they've handled it? Do you think they've handled it well, or do you think that, well, from when the allegations first started coming out, should they have just not played Partey whatsoever, or just sold him when they could have last season? What's your take?
Yeah, so every club, like especially on this side of the pond, every club has well, not the club, the league. Every league over here has like a ex-FBI agent, private investigators who work for the league or work for the league on the behalf of the clubs, right? And whenever there's a situation like this, those private investigators will go do their own investigation and advise the commissioner or the owner of the club on what the situation is and what the facts are of the situation. I would think that because Arsenal are owned by KSC, an American-based company, they would have the same thing where they did some due diligence. They, not all of it, but they've had to do something. You have one of your players, one of your paid employees, high profile, big city, accused of something. You have to know what's going on. So I would surmise that they did something, and they gathered all the information that they could and said, okay, here are the facts, and here are your courses of action. You can continue to play him until he's proven guilty or whatever, until he's actually charged, because he wasn't charged with anything yet. They were just being investigated. Or they could have been like, you know what, just cast him out the side. But then that in itself comes with a PR fallout, because then he looks guilty. Right? Then he looks guilty if you remove him from the firing line. Or the club could just be like, hey, dark arts, we're gonna protect him. We're gonna say he's injured, whatever. But they've had to have done something. They couldn't just ignore an investigation of this magnitude and continue to play him like nothing happened. So they've had to done something. And the fact that they continue to play him tells me that they believed, either they believed Partey or didn't believe that this would blow up into something. But
I just want to go from like, and I know most of us are like guys in the chat and stuff like that, but obviously I've forwarded it to my missus, and obviously I've got daughters in it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and their first kind of reaction is like, boy, do you know what? Nah, kind of thing. Yeah. How do you think from a woman's perspective?
Yeah.
Seeing that the charges, and obviously you've got, you know, women's football and stuff like that as well, because we can do the, do you know what, innocent until proven guilty thing, which, you know, is a fact, but, you know, in general, yeah, you know, you're going to get cancelled anyway, and you know this is going to be something that's going to just be over your head now for the rest of your career now, because even if you know, even if you don't get fully charged and stuff, yeah, there's obviously safeguarding issues as well. Can you be trusted around, you know, certain, you know what I mean, groups and, you know, stuff like that? So, you know, what would you say about, you know, like that?
Yeah, it's
inside.
Yeah, it's and like I said before, you know, for those who didn't catch it, like, it's whether we like it or not, part of our responsibilities as men is to protect our women. That's part of it. We have to accept that. We can't run from that. However, the women, when they see stuff like this, because they are typically the 90% of the victims of SA are women, they will empathize with this, right? Because it hits home to them. Every woman that you can talk to knows someone who some bad stuff has happened to when they were coming up. You know what I mean? They know something. So they're automatically going to get defensive when it's an issue like this, a sensitive issue like this. And I completely understand that. So whenever you send any kind of situation like this to one of our female warriors, our female ballers, I completely understand their disgust. Completely understand how they could get defensive and say, hey, he's a piece of shit. He needs to be. But the other side of the coin is he needs to be thrown in the pen if he did that, because the possibility does exist that he didn't, right? Because we weren't there. But if he did it, bro, 100% chop his head off. But I don't have any issues with the women saying, hey, you know, there's something there and it needs to be investigated. Because from a PR standpoint, even Diddy knew that he had to hire a female attorney. You know what I'm saying? Just for the optics of it, because you have women on the jury looking at over here, two men sitting here, you know, and being accused of doing X, Y, and Z, you know, to the women. So even he was smart enough to know that he needed to put some empathy on his side. You know what I mean? And if you ask me, it helped him bust case, to be honest. But yeah, I completely understand, you know, the female point of view, because they're in certain situations they're defenseless. That's why we have to protect them. You know what I mean?
And so what it says on here, I'm just going to read out what it says.
Yeah, go on.
So Thomas Partey has been charged with 5 counts of the R word. And the offences are reported to have taken place between 2021 and 2022. We're in 2025.
Yep.
The thing about this for me is that it says the charges involve 3 women. So it's not one particular woman, it's 3 women. 2 counts of R relating to 1 woman. So that's okay. And 3 counts of R in connection to a second woman, and 1 count of SA linked to a 3rd woman. The Ghanaian international denies the charges, so I think he's going to say not guilty. And welcomes the opportunity to finally clear his name, his lawyer says.
Yeah.
So the 32-year-old contract of Arsenal ended on Monday after playing with the team since 2020. The charges followed an investigation by detectives, which started in February 2022 after police first received the report of R. So Partey seems he's denying all the charges right now. He's welcoming, you know, the chance to clear his name as well. There's always 2 sides of the coin in this as well.
Yeah.
You know, because we're going to get a lot of stuff coming out now from Arsenal fans, as you know it, accusing this guy guilty, guilty, guilty. Yeah, I remember one of my mates who's a Spurs fan. He's a scout at Brentford now, and I remember he just went in. Me and him just had a back and forth, about the situation. This was when it first came out.
Yeah,
he said that he obviously knew more than what was being said at the time. So I think we're going to have to see how this one plays out. I don't think we can actually go into too much detail because we don't know, innit? We really don't know. Yeah. We don't know. All we know now is that, Partey is not an Arsenal player now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I had completely forgot about this. Hendo. So Hendo's actually reminded me about a lot of different kids. I remember this one.
Yes.
Vegas.
Yes.
The highest profile of footballers.
Yeah.
Even he. So if he can get, and he beat that. He was falsely accused. You know what I mean? So it's just man knows that there are targets out here, and you just have to put up so many barriers around you and so many safeguards. It's a mad one. The assembly said, in my opinion, they allow Xhaka. Anything goes from there, and Aubameyang change. Oh, he's talking about from the Xhaka money ahead of the club's integrity. Yeah, we touched on how they treated Ozil as well. The assembly. The minute it threatened Arsenal's PR and their public viewing, we know that this club is very sensitive about their reputation. So the fact that they continued to play him I would incline to believe they believed him or didn't think there was enough evidence there to substantiate any claim that was being made.
And what effect do you think this will have on? Because we need to talk about Arteta as well. Yeah, because Arteta also played Partey as well. Do you think he's gonna? Do you think he's gonna come under any scrutiny? Or do you think Arteta just have to play the cool, cool nice as he always does, and he's all right.
Yeah, he'll play it cool. Now, if the verdict comes back guilty, he will definitely hold some smoke, right? And rightfully so.
Serious?
If him, and because then the club will get hit with, you didn't do your due diligence, and he is a part of that. The argument would be, well, if you weren't sure, you should err on the side of caution and don't play him. If you weren't sure, but if you're sure that he didn't do it, or you're sure that they didn't have enough evidence to prove what he did, left or right, then you should not have played him. And they played him. It's been 3 years, And one of the things is you can't just have a footballer on your books collecting $200K and not play him because there's an accusation. You know what I mean? So either way, the club had a decision to make, and they decided to keep playing him. So if it comes back guilty, they will be held accountable for that. Big up to be good. It's 2025, and we're dealing with something from 2021, 2022 bogus. Yeah, these investigations, because they drag them out so much, it kind of makes you wonder, how long does it take to get statements or to get DNA back? It doesn't take 3 damn years. I mean, if you're taking this long to investigate one of these, what about actual serious crimes like murder, or not? More egregious crimes like murder and shit like that. It's 3 years. It's a mighty long time. The question is, could it be charged sooner, and did the club protect him? It's a good point, TK.
Big up TK, my brother.
And that would be another one of the reasons I was getting at, that the club would have to answer for this. Yeah, because you don't protect this. No matter how bad it may look on the club.
The club may be confident, may feel confident that he is innocent. They may have more information, that than what we think.
Yeah. I'd be inclined to believe that, because if you are not sure, then you can't play him. But they continue to play him. You know what I mean? Even with the booze raining down every time he touched the ball. It used to be a drag to watch when we're playing away and we're dominating the team, and everyone else would touch the ball. And as soon as the ball got to him, the booze would get overwhelming. You know what I mean? And it would just remind you of, hey, there's something going on there. You know,
It's everywhere though, man. You know, it's just everywhere. Everyone's just reported it. It's just come out like that. Bam. You know, it even take because I think is it Jota's funeral today?
is it?
I don't know if is it today or
It could be today. It couldn't be that soon. It couldn't
I
be
thought
that.
it's 48. They bury I think the Portuguese they bury guys like 48
Oh
hours.
wow.
I think.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know, back home we take weeks, you know. You know what I'm saying? In our culture, we take weeks, bro. Because you know,
yeah, even with Muslims as well, they get buried like literally straight away. So
yeah,
I don't know. I thought it was today, but I might be wrong. I might be wrong. But yeah, it's
yeah.
I don't know, bro, man. This situation is just the way it's come out as well. Yeah, this week has been a crazy week, to be honest. It's been a bit of a mad week to just taking everything, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, the news yesterday of you know, Jota's passing, that was a lot to take. And now today, you know, one of our players or ex-players has been charged with the R word. You know, it almost like takes away like, you know, like the signings. You know, I'm sure we were supposed to unveil someone today, Zubamendi or someone today. So I don't know. As I said before, yeah. If you're watching this, if you're watching this from early, I wanted to really go in on Thomas Partey, but you know, my brother here, you know, he just reminded me that, you know what, yeah, you can't really just go in on someone, yeah, because you haven't got the facts and you haven't got the evidence. And he's right. He's right, and that's the thing with you know, people of our culture. You know, we tend to like publicly assassinate without the evidence a lot of the times. Do you know what I mean? I don't know whether it's a cultural thing or anything like that, but it's almost like we want to see him dead and buried, not dead, but
burn.
Just burn. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, as I said, yeah, but as you said earlier, Bernard Mendy, he was proved innocent, although we can see his career has been, you know, been messed up.
Yeah.
We have to do the same thing.
Yeah, the reason why I had to bring up the Mendy thing is because when I went back and looked at his case, like this morning when they broke that he got charged with 5 counts, man was saying, yo, he's definitely going to jail. It's 5 counts. Mendy was hit with 7 counts, and he's every single one of them. Every single one of them, he was not guilty. So the amount of counts doesn't matter. Like even Diddy just showed that he, you know, that he was a sure shot for prison. You know what I mean? But when the evidence comes out and the prosecutors, they're reading out the text messages from his accusers and saying, well, you seem like a willing, you know what I'm saying? It's there's so much to unpack there. But if he does come back guilty, the club will have a lot to answer for. Because then the questions will be, what did you know and when did you know it? You know, that will be, you know, the net of it. But yeah, even the Ronaldo situation was a payoff situation. It was clear that it came out that they were offered when the other side, the accused, were requesting a settlement not to go to court. And Ronaldo was like, no, we're going to court because I didn't do this. You know what I mean? And then they back down. It's just so many layers of craziness, you know, in this money grab hungry society that we live in, man. Arsenal had to go on the innocent until proven guilty, because if they didn't, then they would risk lawsuit, because then Partey would
would be claiming
You cannot sack me because Michelle around the corner has been hitting on me and I said no, and then she goes to the police station. I said I touched her inappropriately. You can't do that. You know, you have to have proof that I did that, and that takes time. So they couldn't just sack him. You know, even with the PR fallout that would have came with that, you know. So I don't know. It's gonna come back to what did the club know and when did they know it? Ronaldo had never met her. It's all Golding. And that's what I'm saying. Like these athletes, they, especially Thomas Partey, who was 30 something now, and this happened 3 years ago. You're 28, 29. I'm calling you a grown up. You know, I'm a little older than that, but I'm calling you a big man. If you're almost 30, you should know better. to put yourselves in situations, you know.
You know why a lot of this stuff is close to my heart, yeah, because I'm not going to get into the full things, yeah, but I've seen or I've been in situations, not myself personally. Sorry, I've seen stuff in family, you know, I've heard stuff from family. There's a situation once where, and this was an SA thing, yeah, there was a situation where someone close to me was a child, and they was on the bus, and I was on the bus. All of us were on the bus, basically, yeah. And there was this guy on the bus, yeah, and what he was doing was inappropriate. Do you understand? Yeah, I don't want to go. I'll tell you about the whole thing afterwards. What is inappropriate, but apparently, this same guy was doing this quite a bit on the bus. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it weren't just to women; it was to boys as well. So he was actually locked up for what he done, innit? Do you know what I mean? Because the proof was there, you know. So stuff like that, it angers you, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, especially at the time, like people don't say anything because they're scared, innit? So if you look at, we can look at two sides of the coin, yeah, because there's always two sides, isn't it? There's always two sides, whether you want to hear it or whether you don't want to hear it. There's always going to be two sides.
Yeah.
There's going to be your side, that's your side, the other person's side, and the truth in it. That, you know, there's always going to be a truth in there, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? The truth, you know, will always come out in the end. Well, we hope it always comes out in the end. So,
yeah,
I'm just hoping the truth comes out. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely, and here's the thing, right? Just because you don't like Thomas Partey,
yeah,
you get it. Because like Hendo pointed out here that even Human Son, who everyone loves, got accused, and just because everyone loves Human Son doesn't mean he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So it just have to be very careful. But you know the you're gonna see across these YouTube spaces today, you get the tribalism will take precedence over common sense, and then you know you'll have people who are trying to appease to a certain demographic will take over common sense, and people will speak past their own brains because they personalize. Because if you're a man with daughters, you look at things differently. If you're a man with sons, and you know your boys have to go out in the world and deal with gold digging lion females, then you look at things differently, because you wouldn't want your son to be convicted off a tweet.
Of course.
You know what I mean? But I also, because I don't have daughters, I have sons, but I have nieces, so I empathize with young women. Like I said before, it's our responsibility to protect them. We can't run away 100%. From that as men. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we look at this from a holistic standpoint. Then you have to just be like, okay, there are so many recent examples of powerful men being taken down by the word of this person, that person, and it's money grabbing is a thing. You know, it's not exclusive to athletes. You know, movie stars. That if you have money, you are a target. No one robs someone who's poor. No one robs the homeless.
You know, the worst thing for me though, yeah, is it's not just one. If it was just one person, then I'll be like, okay, but it's three different. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, when you get more and more people, yeah, what is it? Are they all like? Are they talking to each other? And are they friends? Are they?
Yeah, that's another.
Do you understand?
Layer. Yeah, that's another layer.
So you don't know what's going on. So I think we should park this up for now.
Yeah, man.
Let's just get on to talking about.
Big up to Cooper 12. It's 4th of July here in the States, bro. It's the day when the Americans celebrate being free from the King of England.
Serious?
Yeah. So today's the holiday. It's gonna be fireworks every day. People gonna burn their house down, set their lawns on fire. Yeah, all kind of. If firefighters, fire departments hate this day, bro. They hate this day
Boy.
because they get paid double time because it's a holiday, but they have to earn it tonight. Because, bro, there are so many people who are gonna set their damn houses on fire tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't want to see no forest fires or anything like that, man. Because that'd be crazy. I don't like all them forest fires, man, because those things can go on for days, man. But what are you saying about Tomiyasu? I don't know if we
Yes,
want to cover that.
Tomiyasu, who? Who is that? Is that the guy that wear the number 18 shirt? That's him. That guy. Mr. Bad Knees, Mr. Derrick Rose knees, bro. I'll probably recover from my ACL and kick ball before he kicks another ball, bro. It was. I mean, injuries are unfortunate. God bless him, but yeah. I'm not sad to see him go. Now,
what was his injury though? What did he do?
Knee surgery.
Knee.
I think it's a botched surgery. Yeah, knee surgery comes back, and he just had another surgery that had put him out till December, and it's the case of the doctors are looking at his recovery. You know, your post operations, and they look at it, be like, man, this is not, it's not healing well. You know, the bone is not where it's supposed to be. This is not, no strength around the knee area, and they're like, yeah, we may have to do another surgery. So it's like, yeah, just release him. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Yeah, I'm not mad at it one bit, man. But I don't know if they were planning for this with the mascara links, but if the mascara links were made with him in the squad as a player, now this opens the door for us to go sign more defenders.
Yeah,
you know, and now we might be inclined to see more defenders come in before Zubimendi, because I was reading Zubimendi was supposed to be announced today, but due to a logistical complication is the word that they use. They just logistical complication. What? Like, bro, yesterday I was looking.
What's that? What? He missed the boat or something? Or he missed what's going on?
Logistical complication / clerical error. It sounds like a visa thing. I don't know. But how? Like, we do this every year, every day with players. You know, like, how would this keep getting this wrong? Like, the word salads that these clubs throw at us, man. Like now, yesterday it moved from set sights on Eze. From today, it's Arsenal is giving serious consideration. So we went from set sights on to serious consideration. I don't even know what these phrases mean anymore, bro. They're everything but a bid. Everything but a damn bid. You know, like, what are we doing, man? But yeah, what do you think? I mean, do you feel some type of way about Tomiyasu leaving?
No. Do you know what? I'm not invested in the players as much as I used to. I'm getting older now, so I haven't got that young fanboy thing about me no more. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Obviously, I've got players that I really do like, and we're going to talk about this player next after this. But Tomiyasu, he's a decent player. Do you know what I'm saying? I thought for his being as flexible as he was in different positions on the pitch, I thought he was a decent player. But what I didn't get is when we gave him that pay rise, knowing that, and he was injured at the time as well, I think. I didn't get that, and once again we've wasted money. You know, Tomiyasu's on over 100k a week for over a year. You know, and obviously he can't help his injury, isn't it? So something's gone on there, as you said about the botched knee surgery or something. Something's not right there. And Arsenal love to cover up a lot of stuff, don't they? So I'm glad in a way that we're getting him off the books. And it's sad because he's a decent player. And he probably will come back a different player now. I don't think he's going to be, you know, as good as he was. I had reservations about him. I thought he had one good season, but I felt when he came back from injury, I don't know. He just didn't look. He just didn't look the same. But in terms of like, you know what? Yeah, I just wish him all the best in it in his future, and that's all we can do, innit? Just wish the players, you know, Arsenal players that leave, you know, the best in their future careers. The player I did want to talk about, though, and this is someone who I am invested in. I said I'm not invested in any of the players, but this is one player I'm invested in because I truly believe this guy, and yeah, maybe I overrate him, yeah, but I truly believe this guy has got all the talent and the ability to go far in the game. And it's no one other than Ethan Wanieri. There's talk about, you know, the contract is delicate, you know, he's thinking about whether, you know what I mean, his gang is thinking about whether, you know what I mean, he will sign on, because I'm sure, you know, there's going to be takers for this guy because he's absolutely talented, yeah. And if we lose him, I'm going to be upset, bro. I will be upset because all I can just remember is last season where we had the opportunities to play him quite a bit. He didn't play him.
Didn't play him. He gave those minutes
on defenders. You know, he only got a game like, what is it, against Southampton? How many games did he miss? How many games did he miss? The thing is, though, he's got 2 years left on his contract, but next season, 2 years isn't a long time. Yeah. Next season, he's going to be up for grabs, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? So what they're gonna do? They're gonna let him go on a free, or they're gonna sell him. Do you know? And I think he wants to commit. I think he wants to stay at Arsenal, but it's the way. Is our manager going to play him? Is our manager going to play him?
Yeah,
we're all talking about Eze and all these players. Is he going to get game time?
If he wants to commit really bad, but I think he has some apprehension of committing to Arsenal while Arteta is there, because there's no way he wants to go through another season and play 900 minutes. He played less than 900 minutes across all comps last season. Fully healthy, you know. Fully healthy. Yeah. That's less than 9 games, bro. You know, and he could, and with the injuries that our fans complained that we had, a player of his caliber with his talent should have gotten twice as much game time.
Of course.
The manager gave all those minutes to Sterling. If Ethan does not come, say worst case scenario, and we let this talented young player leave, that right there could be the straw that break the camel's back for a lot of Arsenal fans who support this manager, this board, because this would be criminal, bro. This would be criminal for us to let this player leave and then turn around 2 years later and have to spend $110 million on a number 10 or an attacking player when we had one for free that we let walk. You know, because there was someone, I think it was the Assemble in the chat yesterday was saying we let Heaven go to Man United when he should have stayed could have kept him at Arsenal to be an understudy to Saliba Gabriel. So when Saliba does go to Real Madrid next year or a year after, we have an homegrown center back that we don't have to go out and spend 50-60 million to replace Saliba. I didn't even think about that. You know, so big up to the Assembled for bringing that to light, because he was on tour preseason last year, didn't play particularly well, but I expect a 17-year-old center back to make mistakes. You know, that's why you learn, and you that's when I want you to make your mistakes in preseason. You know, I don't want you to make them in match week 12. You know, so yeah, it's a mad one. Big up to the Latvian Gooner. He said he was gonna do it, and he changed his name. It's Mr. Robo is no more, people. He has rebranded.
Oh, okay. Yes, I like that name, you know. That's a wicked name, man.
He has rebranded to the Latvian Gooner, and I told him he banged. I'm glad you brought it up yesterday, and I'm glad you went ahead and did it before someone stole it, and then you'd have to be Latvian Gooner 125 or some crazy number. So yeah, big up to Mr. Robo, and there is his link. People, make sure you are subscribing to the Latvian Gooner. Also, if you're not subscribing to the Waffle Don, make sure you go over there and do so. But big up to everyone in the chat.
Make sure you like that button as well, people. Slap that like button, people, man.
Yeah, so bro, have you seen this story about Nico Williams extending his contract for like 10 years or something at Athletic Bilbao?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, he's another guy that, you know what, I'm not even interested in. Do you know what? You know that he's been flirting around. Yeah, he should be getting charged. Yeah, with all the flirting and all this madness that he's doing. Yeah, flirting with Arsenal, flirting with Barcelona, lifting up his skirt, and then he just says, "No, I'm just gonna stay at home. I'm just gonna stay at home." Some of these players, yeah, they just want a payday, isn't it? They just want a payday, you know. And a 10-year death row contract, you know, bro.
Yep.
So, how much are we saying this guy is gonna cost if a club went in for him? Now, how old is he? 22. He's young, isn't he?
Yeah, he's 22. Yeah.
I don't even rate him that way either. I don't even rate him like a lot of people do. I don't even think he's that great. He's got a bit of pace about him. But I don't even rate him on them type of levels. Other people do rate him, but I don't rate him as much as others do. I don't know, man. I don't know.
So the thing was that he's 22. He's not going to be at Athletic Bilbao when he was 32. So this is the classic Arsenal PR. He's protecting his value, right? Being locked up. Now, this is what annoys me, that even if Arsenal were seriously in for Nico Williams, this is what happens when you drag your feet, right? Because now you whatever yesterday's price is not today's price. Now you have to overpay, right? Because say for example, Bournemouth. If Liverpool were dragging their feet with the Kirkes signing, Bournemouth could have re-signed him to a contract and slapped a hefty release clause in his contract and make Liverpool have to pay over the odds for him. But Liverpool didn't drag their feet. They saw the player, wanted the player, went, bid, took the player. Right? Now, let's say, for example, 2 days from now, 3 days from now, you hear Eze signs new deal at Palace with a release clause higher than what his current release clause is. Now that gives Arsenal an excuse. Oh, they priced him out the market. Now, his release clause was 60 million last week. But you were exploring and set your sights on. You did everything but bid on the player. Right? And here we are. I could play the clip from 3 weeks ago as when you asked me next Friday what you think is going to happen. And I said Zubimendi might be in. Zubimendi is still not in. Zubimendi is still a if. It's not a when. It's still a if. Until I see man holding up the shirt, he is still a if. Right now, our transfer window has been Jorginho released, Butler Adeji released, Kieran Tierney released, Sterling ends loan, Neta ends loan, Tavares out, Marquinhos out, Kepa in, Tamiyasu released.
So, but you can, but the thing is, yeah, you can see there that you can see Berta's doing little bits right now, you know, because it isn't just about ins. You've also got to get the outs as well. Yeah, you've also got to tie up contracts as well. Yeah, remember that. There's also contracts that need to be tied up as well. Another one that's come out as well is, I think it's Al Hilal, one of those teams. They're interested in Martinelli for, is it 75 million or something like that? Should we take the money and run? What's your stance?
I think we should take the money and run from Bayern. You know, bro, if Bayern are offering north of 50, that's 40-something million in profit. I think we paid what, 6-7 million for Martinelli.
Yeah, he didn't pay a lot too.
Yeah, you take that. Then I think Leroy Sané is going to Turkey or something, or wherever he's going. They're releasing Kingsley Coman. That if company wants him, hey, bro, you sell Martinelli. We are screaming for a left wing upgrade, and you can get money for Martinelli.
Yeah,
it's
a no-brainer, isn't it? It's a no-brainer.
So Berta may be doing little bits, and that's fine. But Berta, I need you to do big bits. Big bits. Yeah. The little bits are cool, but I need the big bits. The big bits is Verts. The big bits is Marmouche and Cherky.
Gyökeres.
Yeah, we need the big bits. We need the big bits to compete. Like it said in the title, preseason training starts in a week. You know, Liverpool start kicking ball in a week, my bro. You know,
I think they've I think they might delay that because of obviously the death and stuff of Jota. Is it right for me to say next week is crucial for us to get in players like Gyökeres, Eze at least? And the Madueke stuff is not going away either. What's your stance on Madueke?
He's coming to Arsenal.
You reckon?
Yes, I believe it now. I've seen I've seen too many legs on this little caterpillar. I mean, this little centipede. It's crawling across North London.
You think it's going to happen?
Yes, I think it's happening.
45 million, 50 million.
Bro, Enzo Maresca has Madueke in his right hand. In his left hand, he has a trash bag. You know that thing you put on your
Yeah.
He's packing him in a trash bag right now, and he's looking at Nkunku like, I might throw you in here too.
No, man.
And
what is this? What is this? What is this relationship with our rivals, Chelsea? What is this all about? Please tell me. Has someone got some secrets on the Cronkies? Is there a kind of, something going on? What is going on with us, man?
Arteta has this insatiable appetite to try to save failing players. He's captain save a player. Yeah. Even though it hasn't worked, there's no evidence that he can make this work. He is captain save a player. And I've seen enough evidence from reporting from certain people that I listened to with the Kai Havertz links. And these are the same people saying that Arsenal are in for Madueke. Yeah. I want this to be. I hope we do a U-turn on this so bad, but all points say that he is coming to Arsenal, bro. And he might wear the number 10. Criminal.
Big up to Tony, man. Fresh in Nigeria, man. Big up to you, my brother. Look at Mr. Battered's comment. They ain't your rivals, bro. They're your best friends in the transfer.
Yeah, I'm so behind on the comments. I was trying to get.
Oh yeah. I'll let you
I apologize for the Partey comments, but we parked that around minute 42, so I was just skipping through them trying to catch up to the conversation. But big up to everyone that's letting their.
What are you expecting? Who are you expecting next week? Then, what players are you expecting to arrive at Arsenal training ground, t-shirt up? Blah blah blah. Who are you expecting? And also as well, before you answer that question, Rodrigo, is there a possibility?
No, I don't think so now. I don't think we get Rodrigo. I think the window shuts and we explore a loan for Rodrigo in January when he's not getting playing time in Madrid. But as far as next week, it has to be Zubimendi, innit? It has to be. It just has to be.
Just the one.
Yeah, because next week we're gonna go from exploring Eze to first bid rejected. That's the.
Oh yeah.
Because we're not gonna. The release clause is 60, whatever. We're not going to do that. It's gonna be first bid rejected, and then it's gonna be someone else linked with him, and then
because it's supposed to be like 20 million over the 3 seasons, but we're probably gonna do like 10 plus 5 million or something stupidness like that. I can see it happening.
Yeah. And you know what? Someone told me in the chat yesterday. Big up to the chat, man. I think it was might have been Godfrey or someone yesterday told me in the chat when I was talking about the Chelsea links, is that the relationship between Arsenal and Chelsea is because Chelsea will allow Arsenal to pay in installments. That's probably why we like doing business with them.
Okay. So what? We get the worst players then, yeah? And
I give you these shit players, and you can pay us, 20 mil over the next 3 seasons for Madueke versus, having to cough up, 40 million up front. Yeah, man.
Do you think then, if a Gyökeres comes in, is that the end of Kai Havertz's career at Arsenal?
Not while Arteta's here. With the new manager, yes.
Right.
Yep. If Gyökeres comes in, Kai Havertz becomes our left 8.
Oh, you serious?
Yeah, man. Yep. So go see that Villa 2-0 that we lost in the title running last year and look at that formation. It'll be Odegaard, Zubimendi, and then it'll be Odegaard, Rice, and what's his name, and Havertz. Or he'll get Havertz in there somehow, bro. He will put Gyökeres out wide. But Kai Havertz plays. Arsenal Football Club, while Arteta is managing us, Kai Havertz plays. Yeah, not only does he play, he starts.
Starts as well, bro.
Yeah, he starts, my bro.
So
go on.
you only think that Zubimendi will be unveiled, and that will be it next season. But didn't you just say we've got a week until pre-season starts?
Yeah.
So no striker. No striker.
At this rate, we'll be in Singapore still being linked with Gyökeres and Sesko.
I'm gonna say something, and I don't know whether it's gonna upset a few people. There's no intention, but I think I need to speak about it. Is there a scenario where Liverpool target a Gyökeres? Obviously, we've all lost Jota, but the reality is they're gonna need a player to come in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there a world where, you know, Liverpool, because let's face it now, yeah, Liverpool next season, they're gonna want to do it for Jota next season, aren't they? So they're gonna want the best player. Is there a scenario where they go all in for Isak now? That's my question.
So yesterday, I'm glad you said that, because yesterday I touched on that. Basically, you're asking or saying that the Jota tragedy will make Liverpool make a decision. Yeah. And because their fan base is so united right now, right? They're so united, they're so in sync from top all the way down. And the ownership sees that their fan base are hurting right now. How do you uplift the fan base that's hurting?
Bringing a signature signing.
Yeah, you drop 130 million on Isak, or you give him 80 million in Nunes. You know, or whatever. You make that deal happen, and the fans will love that.
It'd be interesting to see. I know it's not the greatest time to talk about, but I just thought I was thinking about it, and I was just thinking, well, Liverpool are going to want to do this next season for Jota, obviously.
Oh yeah, it's going to be.
They're going to probably bring in a big. They got to bring in a big centre. They don't have to, but wouldn't it be a statement signing to bring in Isak? Isn't it? You know, on the back of obviously the tragedy, you know, just to say, you know what, we want to do this for Jota. We want to win the league back to back, maybe a Champions League or something as well. So
yeah,
I can see something crazy happening. You know,
I can hear it, bro.
Big up to Scance as well, and D-Dubs.
Yeah, man. Big up to Scance,
the Liverpool man's them as well.
Yeah, big up to Preach. Big up to Mr.
Preach as well.
In the chat. Yeah, big up to him. We get a lot of Liverpool support in the chat, man. So big up to him.
Big up to all the Liverpool fans as well, man.
Yeah, man. But that's
breathe together as well, people, man.
Yeah.
We're all breathing, man.
Yeah, but that's a good point, man. That's a good point to make about Liverpool. They will do something. They will react to this. You know, it's as tragic as it may be. That, you know, they as a football club, they have a decision to make. Do we sit on our hands and sulk? No, we're gonna grieve. We're gonna honor him, and we're gonna move on, right? And what better way to honor him and move on than to, you know, make a banging signing and going into the season to defend your Premier League title, something that they haven't done in this Premier League era. So, yeah.
And you know, when you look at both players' profiles, technically, both players are just, you know, Isak and Jota. I'm not comparing both players, but both players technically, amazing. If you look over Jota's goals, the way, do you know what I mean? He's just technically very good. He was just technically very good. You know, eye for goal. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, in off the left. You know, you know, twist up a couple defenders, shot. He's a very good player. Obviously, the difference between him and Isak is, you know, Isak is a pure number 9, isn't he? You know,
man.
Powerful, you know, good in. You know, he's just got ability all around. So as I said, it'd be interesting to see, you know, how Liverpool go into next season in terms of their mindset, because as you said, you know, now's the time for grieving right now. But that grieving turns to, you know, from from the anger, the grieving turns. You know, was it how many? There's how many whatever. I'm just
So the stages of
stages of.
yeah,
You know,
it's what
there's the denial, there's the anger, there's the thing.
bargaining.
Yeah, and then do you know what? I think I think now Liverpool are gonna be serious next season, even more now.
Yeah,
you know, even more now. So
yeah.
yeah,
The good thing for Liverpool is that they made their statement of intent as soon as the season ended.
yeah,
Right? As soon as Trent said he was leaving, Frimpong was lined up, and there was no clerical error, no logistical shortfall, none of that. It was, hey, come hold up the shirt. Robo didn't have the best season last year at left back, so they replaced them both their fullbacks. They made the, record signing, the record Premier League signing before any of this happened. So now, unfortunately, tragically, they have a hole in their squad that they wasn't planning for, and they have to react to that. They have to, this is adversity. The road to championships and trophies aren't always paved smoothly. And this is a hell of an adversity for them, and they will react to this, bro. And yeah, if there was ever a need for them to uplift the fan base, that would be the time. And I don't put it past them to do it, because I think Mr. Bathard here said to me on a couple of streams ago, said FSG has wanted to spend like this. It was Klopp that said, no, I prefer a small squad. I prefer, these players, and I'm going to play these players who have been loyal to me, and they would run through a brick wall for me, versus just bringing in player X, player Y, player Z. So the implication is that the money's been there to spend, and it was Klopp that said, hey, nah, I don't want that. I can win with this. Kind of like he wanted to topple City with a small squad, the same way he toppled Bayern with a small Dortmund squad. So the money's there. They can, and they are selling well. So they can absolutely do a madness, which is the onus is still, the Premier League is still a competition. We respect Liverpool, we agree with them, but we want to beat them next season.
100%, 100%. 100%. Once the Premier League starts, it's back to rivals. Yeah, we all start from zero. Remember, there's also Man City as well, and Chelsea, the likes of Chelsea as well. Everyone's going at each other next season, and it's a World Cup season. I don't think we're going to have a drab season as it was last season. I think next season is going to be exciting. I think next season is the year of the number 9. I think number 9s are coming back in fashion. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing the likes of Isak, Haaland. Hopefully, we get Gyökeres or a number 9. Even Delap. I'm looking forward to seeing how Delap. Even United. Who's going to be their number 9? Because they're still going to be looking at a striker. So don't be surprised, if we're hearing Osimhen rumors. The team, last minute putting in a bid for Osimhen as well. So I think next season is going to be very exciting. It's going to be probably one of the best Premier Leagues in years. I'm hoping.
You mentioned the World Cup thing. So like towards the business end of the season, when teams know, we will know what teams qualified for the World Cup and what groups they're in, and all that will be set. Yeah. Players towards the end of the season,
they start to.
Yeah. Do you? Because then
they don't want to get injured, innit?
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That man don't want to get injured because they have the World Cup coming out. So it would be good to go into that part of the season with a hefty lead on somebody. You want to be going into these high contested games towards the tail end of the season, because man be pulling out of tackles. Especially if you got like a lot of Brazilians and Argentina man in your squad, because you know what the World Cup means to them, man. So it's madness next year, bro.
The thing is though, if you think like that as a player, you're gonna get injured. You're gonna get injured. Yeah, if you think like that, because there are going to be certain players that are not going to make the World Cup because they're going to get injured. Yeah, we don't know who, but players will get injured, whether they've had a good season or not. It happens. So rather than to think of pull out tackles and stuff like that, play your game. Yeah, naturally play your game, and you know what? the easier it gets towards the end of the season, maybe the less you get played, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know, as you said, if teams have a massive lead, you don't need to play the certain players. You know, give them a rest. That's what a squad's there for.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's with the World Cup year. It's going to present another set of unique challenges for managers. And it's just going to be more on Arteta's plate. You know, not only are you're not competing with just Man City like the first title world. The World Cup here in 2022 was just you and City competing. Liverpool were off the boil. Right now, we fully expect Liverpool. We fully expect City to be there competing. Now you have to compete with them while managing a squad with quite a few internationals in it. Right? You got Deckers, you got Saka, you got Gabriel, you got Saliba, you know, you got Skelly. You got Raya in the French squad. You got Timber.
You've got quite a few.
Yeah, who else is an international?
Odegaard's.
Got Zubimendi, presumably. Moreno. You know,
Timber.
Even Martinelli. Yeah, bro. It's you have a squad, except for shit Havertz. Fuck.
Germany.
So you essentially got your starting 11 is essentially all international.
Well, yeah. So, and the thing is, there's still qualifiers, isn't there?
Yeah, there's still a few.
So players might go into qualifiers and get injured, and then they may miss out in the league as well. So look at all the context. Look at all the different scenarios that we've got now. Some players might even miss a lot of the league time because they're playing international, trying to qualify their team. So I don't know, man. I really don't know how this season's gonna act. Is it gonna be really exciting? Is it? Who knows?
Yeah, I don't. Is he equipped? Like I'm saying, like I'm not sure he is equipped to manage this squad in a World Cup year with this amount of because his rotations are so predictable, Abs, and so. You know, it's like for like sub. He really gives this guy a game, that guy a game, and when he does give him a game, it's microwave minutes. You know, we got so much going against us right now, and now the biggest thing going against us right now is the clock. We're up against it. Today is July 4th. We kick off against AC Milan in 17 days. That's what we kick off. So we need to start training before that, and.
Teammates getting to know the new.
Yeah, men need to move to London and get their kids in school if they're bringing their family with them and all that stuff, man. That stuff matters to players. They know.
100%.
You know, men need to come in and get settled. And
your missus, the missus needs to know. Listen,
no one wants to go home after a hard day of training to a miserable wife or a miserable. You know, you want to get your house in order so you can focus on the football. And the time is against us on that front, and we just keep getting in our own way, you know. And
man, I'm just looking at Twitter, bro. Man, they're going in on Arsenal right now.
Right. Yeah,
they are going in.
It's clickbait time, man. It's clickbait time.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's clickbait time. But you know, if you and that's the reason I'm not even on Twitter, bro. I can't deal with it because it seems like it's. People just talk from the side of their brain with the glitch in it, and I just
look at this. Do you agree with this? Arsenal continued playing Partey and offered him a new contract because he was accused and not charged. Mendy and Greenwood were both charged and got suspended by their different Manchester clubs.
No. Greenwood had a audio leak. That voice note was out. We know what we heard, bro. You know, leak me the video or the audio of Partey. You know what I'm saying? It's like apples. That's what I'm saying. They forget facts to run their narrative. It was just like, come on, man. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Quick thing, bro. Yeah. I'm hearing a lot of things about Gyökeres. It seems that the conversations seem to be more going towards Gyökeres right now. If I gave you like, what is it? If I gave you, I'm not a betting man, yeah, but if I gave you £100 and I gave you 2 coins and one had Gyökeres and one had Sesko on, where would you put your money right now today?
says as Gyökeres.
Do you think that's where we're going? Look where it's looking. Do you think Berta's getting that? I don't know. Do you think Berta's kind of getting Arteta mindset round that, or is Sesko becoming a bit too much, a bit too hard to be got?
I don't think we know where we're going. I don't think we know what direction we want to go in, and that's the part that annoys me, because he said at his press conference, his out brief, that no one prompted him. No one. He volunteered this information. He's the one that said everything is done. We've talked to who we need to talk to, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. That implies that you know what direction you want to go in, right? If Arne Slot had said that, and then they signed Kirkes, they signed Frimpong, and then they signed a verse with like, oh yeah, goosebumps for real, right? That means you had a clear plan. They didn't say a word, and they had a clear plan. He came out and said all that, and now we're undecided on which striker we want. So there was no clear plan. That concerns me, and it annoys me. However, I would put my money on Gyökeres, because even though people will say that there's Portuguese tax, and I agree, but I can bet you, since you're not a betting man, we will bet, we'll bet dinner, right? That if we put Gyökeres in the Arsenal team and we put Havertz in the Portuguese team, Havertz does not score 54 goals in that league.
You're right.
Right?
You're probably right.
Yeah. And I'm inclined to believe that Gyökeres would have scored more than 9 Premier League goals last year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
100%.
That's a win for us. So I would look at that and be like, okay, this guy, regardless of the league, knows where the net is. Let's give him a chance. We've given Kai Havertz a chance. We've given him 2 years, and he's proven that he is not it. So let's give someone else a chance. We've given him 2 years. We've given the manager 5. Let's give someone else a chance. Let's give Ethan a run out. Let's try some new things, because what we have been doing has not worked. It has failed. And last year was the biggest failure, abstract failure, massive drop off in the point tally, style of play, injuries, whatever. We fell the hell off last year. None of it's working. So we can't run that back. We need a whole new game plan. And it's very difficult to come up with a new game plan with the same players, the same coach.
Are you liking though all the movements that's happening at Arsenal? I don't think we touched on the ins and outs. So we've got Heinz coming in now. Heinz Baked Beans. He's coming in right now to be assistant to Arteta. So do you sense that there's going to be a kind of different style of play with this new guy coming in, or do you think everything's just going to remain the same? Because there is things going on. There is things going on at Arsenal. So
that new guy's just coming in to show him the iPad. Nah, bro. That guy's not coming in here to challenge Arteta. And give.
You don't think so? You don't think so?
He doesn't come off as a guy that.
This is but Tyron,
yeah.
People forgetting, Arteta's under a lot of pressure next season now. He's under a lot of pressure.
Everyone seems to know that, but him. I don't think he's moving like a guy under pressure. I don't think he is, bro. Man is smiling way too much at his press conference, bro. Man is just out there like, man, just smiling from ear to ear like Diddy with a bag full of baby oil. He's just smiling too much. He's not moving like a manager that's under pressure. So, he may have been given concessions and guarantee that he's gonna stay on. Big up, but it's no, bro. I don't think so. And that's the thing. We're announcing a goalkeeper and an assistant when we know what we need. And I was like, what the hell?
It's that new money, isn't it? That new money's just got him moving different right now, isn't it?
Jesus, man. Yeah, I don't believe it, man. I want to, and that Cav, you see that Cav talking about X, Y, and Z. Cav, it's July 4th, right? July 4th, my brother. We are 19 days from kickoff from preseason. We kick off against AC on 23 July.
Where is he, man? I don't see him in the chat. Where is he, man? Where is he? He's watching. I know he's watching.
Yeah. We got an APB on him, but it's we'll see. We'll see how it goes when we're in Singapore and links are still being made. According to the best source in the world, ESPN, Gyökeres, without a doubt, is number one target. But yeah, best source in the world. Sesko was our man 2 days ago, and at 6 o'clock this evening, it will be Sesko again. It's a madness. I don't know, man. I do not know, bro. But bro, you doing anything coming up for the Club World Cup today? I think there's a match.
Who's playing today? I don't even check.
I think Chelsea play Palmeiras today.
Oh, Palmeiras. What time is it? 5 or 8? Let's have a look. I'll have a look.
It's gonna be late for you, man. It might be 2 a.m.
Oh, forget that, man. Nah, I'm not staying up to watch that. You know what I mean? Do you know what though? Tomorrow, PSG versus Bayern. And Real Madrid versus Dortmund. That looks like it's going to be a double watch along for me tomorrow. So make sure you tune into my channel, Waffle Don. Make sure you guys go and subscribe. Big up to Latvian Guna as well, in the place as well. And big up to. Hold on, you got to play something for Eros, man. Big up to
Maybach music.
I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, whipping work.
big up
Maybach
Eros.
music.
Yeah, Eros every time, man. Eros knows he's gonna get his respect in the chat. But people, I want to thank the Waffle Don for taking almost an hour and a half out of his time to.
And tell that Cav, I'm working, every time I'm looking like that, I'm looking at my screen so it don't go off.
Yeah.
So I'm working here, bro. But you know what? When it comes to doing my stream with BBK, you know what I mean? I'm locked in every Friday. And this is what it's going to be like, hopefully, every Friday from now on, man.
Yeah, man.
Big up, people.
Big up to every single one of you people. Like I always say, my people, take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, we are gone.